All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Savage Takes episode number 2, and this time I have another pro team, players who are absolutely better at this game than me, the Value Vampires. You just saw a bunch of them. I believe they were the best team at Pro Tour London. They had the most conversion, the highest conversion rate, the most players in day 2. It was kind of an upset. You know, America's fallen pretty far behind with this team out there, just spiking events. And of course, Max got second on Enigma. And it's going to be kind of wild because these guys are really good at the game. And we're going to be jumping into all of the goodies about high seas, national season, and a little bit of that spicy drama going on in the background. How you guys doing today?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having us on here.
Yeah, me too.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited.
Sailing along.
Yeah. High seas. What have you guys been up to? You gearing up for national season, or are you guys really like kind of taking some time off? Like, what are you guys going on in your lives right now?
I've just been doing a lot of limited.
Oh,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite?
Checking out some Puffin.
Oh yeah, Puffin's good, dude.
Puffin is sick.
Puffin
he
is
has
sick.
two good weapons, I think. So. Either one can work out. Like you can go gun into a fucking battalion. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the gun ship build is the only thing I'm brewing right now. It's just big go again gun into giant ship. It's so fun. What about the rest of you guys?
Yeah, I just recently I was like brewing a bit of gravy because I did like a little interview, like a deck tech with Push the Point. You know.
Yeah. I watched it.
So, you know, playing some constructed there. And then other than that, I'm kind of taking it easy because of like personal life reasons. I'm probably not going to be playing too many events in the near future, except for Bologna in like, what is it, like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
But yeah, mostly just kind of, you know, playing a limited here or there, brewing gravy.
The absolute monstrosity of Spanish nationals is about to go to Brazil to spike every one of their nationals going forward. Kind of brutal. Sorry, Brazil. And then what about you?
Also trying a lot of limited lately.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like before every tournament, I'm trying to find my CC deck, which is quite a challenge right now, I have to say.
Hey, what can you talk about the hero? Which CC is it?
It's like 5 I have on my now. Like every time, it's like too many, I have to say. But I gotta narrow it down soon because nationals are approaching quickly.
It is.
So, we've gotta lock it in a bit earlier this time, I think.
Yeah, such an open meta right now. All right, well, let's just dive right into the topics. Let's go one by one. I'm really want to get into nationals conversations with you guys. So we'll go through the beginning and then boom, all nationals towards the end. So our first topic is the massive ban wave that just came out. LSS has redone the LL system. They banned Count Your Blessings, Germinate, Scepter of Pains, and they unbanned bonds, right? And there was a little bit of controversy. We already talked about this a bit last time, but, you know, Aurora skyrocket out of the game. They're trying to rotate older heroes a little faster, it seems, by giving them a multiplier, and they're trying to slow down new heroes from rotating out of the game super fast. What's your guys' take on this, like forced rotation versus necessary balance versus preemptive kind of banning style?
I think it's really good change. Like I think it was a little ridiculous how fast things were rotating. I think it was like, I don't know, I can see how some players like would not even invest into a hero even though it was quite new. Oh, this is gonna end already next ProQuest season, especially the ProQuest seasons and these type of events. They do give a lot of points, and I don't necessarily know if the multiplier for the older heroes is really necessary.
Yeah,
like if they're really not doing anything, they're not doing anything. Like they don't necessarily need to rotate. So I don't know, but I don't think it's a bad thing either. Mm-hmm. Like I get it that at some point, you know, they want to rotate, dominate a little bit out of the game. Bravo and Azalea can be leaving at some point. That's fine. So I'm not upset by it either. So I think mostly it's a good change.
Yeah, I also like the way they approach the bans this time. Just like preemptively banning powerful cards that could be a problem, especially with new cards coming out, as they said in the dev talk, I think. And yeah, I think it's just really frustrating for players, especially for people who just got into the game.
Yeah.
To lose their hero, but also just for like long-term players that really focus on a certain deck, spending a lot of time on perfecting it and then losing it, and not being able to like make use of all the time they've put into it. So I really like that. And it also shows us that they're like, of course, always look at the meta and try to like show us, what the right decision should be. Right?
Yeah.
To balance everything.
Yeah.
I think so. There's like basically you're asking about two topics, right? So
kind of
the bans in general, and then like the living legend changes. I think in terms of the bans, I don't really have anything spicy to add. I think it for the most part everything makes sense and seems like a good change. Like I think at our let's say the level that we play at, Count Your Blessings isn't really like an issue in terms of power level, but I can totally understand their reasoning for banning it because of like what it does at the armory level, and also I think
never have been printed.
Never have been printed. Yeah. I mean, like personally, I don't love the playing against the style of deck, but I think it's reasonable to have like this kind of strategy in the game. Maybe this was like a bit extreme, but like whatever. Now it's gone, so okay. And the other bands, I think they explained pretty well what they were going for there. And regarding the living legend changes, I think most of the stuff has already been said in general, like also like other forums. But one thing that I found interesting that I don't think has been mentioned before is that effectively there's a good chance that through this change there's actually going to be a lot less, or like maybe not a lot, but like less points being injected into the system. And the reason for that is that you have like this 0.5 multiplier on new heroes. And by and large, you're probably going to have new heroes be the ones that accumulate points the fastest, because you have an incentive as a company, because you want to sell product, and also because you want new sets to be impactful and interesting for people to play with. So you kind of want to push those maybe a bit more with respect to what the meta is currently at. And so that means that a lot of the time, the living legend points that are going to be earned are actually going to be divided by half. And then, yes, you have like this 1.5 multiplier to kind of like make up for it for like the older heroes, but those are probably not going to be winning at the same rate as the newer heroes are. So by the end of it, you're actually reducing the amount of living legend points that you're putting into the system. And one issue that we might have here is that we could get to a situation of a bit of a hero bloat. We already have like a lot of heroes in Classic Constructed, and I think I mean, it's not clear what the right number of heroes is, but I think I might have heard that or heard mentioned somewhere that we're already kind of like at the upper level of what they want to have at any given time in Classic Constructed. So I think I like it a lot that they're still doubling down on the living legend system and that they're tuning it, but I think there's a good chance that this is not going to be the last change we're going to see.
On top, they also fix, quote unquote, the rounding thing, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting issue. The artifacts with rounding. I'm not a big fan of older heroes accelerating faster. That just because I particularly enjoy the older heroes, and I find it kind of annoying that if they do get the cards that are necessary to make them viable, that then they just kind of exist for like a fraction of what they would have really existed for if they were good forever, right? I don't know. The fact that Reinar will accelerate if, as soon as Mandible Claws LL and then he gets his like club style build and he's actually kind of good and he's actually kind of fun, maybe. Then he just says, you got a ProQuest season with him. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan, but it is kind of hard for LSS because you have a hero bloat going on. We know that when they release bad heroes, nobody likes it, right? Look at heavy hitters, right? We got Betsy, we've got Olympia. That set wasn't particularly, it didn't seem particularly that like exciting for a lot of people, even though I think it was one of the best metas we've had, like balance wise. So yeah, they're kind of forced to want to sell product. And now, but we're gonna have Betsy for like 900 years, right? She's never gonna LL unless they give her a lot of attention, right? So we're gonna start having these kind of like weird old heroes just hanging out. And I don't know, I'm kind of the mindset that I want them to over buff old heroes, get them like kind of really good, and then get them out, But I don't know, it's a hard problem to solve. But like all 3 WTR heroes are still here, right? Like, or 4, all 4. Get them out, right? Like, give them something stupid. Let them have a season, or like, make a version 2 of them and retire the old version. I don't know. Give them tap, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
they might. I think they might do more Rhinos and more Bravos.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not Bravo.
It's like 5 Bravos already, but maybe at some point, do you just like retire a hero who didn't LL? Like, is there a world where new FAB is just too different from old FAB? I don't know. It's an interesting question. But part of this announcement came with also the concept, they talked about this on the panel interview about being way more proactive with bans, right? So mid-season bans, more ban windows, more notes, more heavy-handed dev interventions. What's your guys' thought on like heavier bans?
I like it.
Yeah.
I'd rather, lose my investment or whatever. I mean, that's I think partly because of the perspective of like I care about the events more than, I don't know, the value of my collection or whatever.
Super true, yeah.
Yeah, but I can totally see how. I mean, I think that still will put them in different in difficult spots.
Yeah. I mean, there's no winning, right? I guess
they are not going to upset me, but they're going to upset a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it.
Yeah, I think like being scared of losing cards from your pool that you just invested in can be scary. But on the other hand, we all just like want to play a well-balanced game that's fun at the end of the day. And so I think it's the right approach.
Yeah, I don't
They also have to nail it though. Yeah, that's the hard part. I mean, for example, the last ban announcement, there was one thing with the Germinate and the Scepter stuff.
Yeah,
it showed me a little bit that maybe they thought the other Florian deck was actually the problem when it wasn't actually the Scepter version that was a problem, I think.
Yeah, I think that they were just annoyed that there was another version of like Dash. Like one of the reasons Dash is kind of good is because they would show you their hero and they could be like 3 different things. I don't know if an S tier deck should be able to show you their hero and you have a 50-50 chance of auto losing by flipping. So I think that was kind of the vibe. But
I'm just saying it's gonna be very difficult to do it. Proactively and stuff, so they have their work cut out for them if that's what they want to do.
I really think that I know they have a pretty hard stance on not banning specific cards for specific heroes. But I think at this point in time, like we could deal with it at least at a professional setting. Like I find it weird that they don't hit heroes specifically. Like, they'll take a card away and that card's good for 15 people, but then they take it away because one hero is overtuned with it. I would really like it if they start like nitpicking heroes a little bit, because then I feel like the balance would be a little bit more fair,
Yeah, but like it doesn't have to be fair though, right? At any given point in time, you're gonna have a couple of decks that are just the best decks.
Yeah.
And yes, your favorite guy, the one that's glowing in the background right there is not one of them, but
it's beautiful.
Yeah, but that's just how it goes. Like you can't make it completely perfectly evenly fair and balanced.
True.
Because I think that would actually kind of be boring.
Yes.
There's at least the risk that you end up with something that is just not exciting. And you're just gonna have some ebb and flow. And I do see though, I agree that this is a thing that they could be doing where they target specific heroes with bans and restrictions. But I totally understand why they're very reluctant to do so, because it just adds this extra layer of confusion, especially for like newer players, and it just adds this extra layer of like administration basically to the game. Maybe I've heard people talk about this could be done for LL because that's a format where generally speaking, it's more for the enfranchised players, and there's like maybe a bit less friction for this kind of thing. But again, it's not an easy decision to make, I don't think.
Yeah, either way, it requires like somebody to make a sacrifice. Yeah. I just say it's so interesting sometimes where like they'll take a card away from a S tier deck and it like absolutely neuters another one, but their stance is that the S tier deck needs to be depowered. It's hard. I think
Katsu players in shambles.
Like Katsu.
Yeah, or like it just goes to show that LSS will never win because both of these topics, everybody's like, oh, somebody will be mad, somebody will be happy. Tough, dude.
By the way, on LL, like that is really sneaky that they announced it. Like, oh yeah, by the way, it will be relevant for Worlds.
Yeah.
Okay. In this like sneaky, banned announcement in like this half sentence, you just say that. Okay, that was a bit weird to me. And also the Crown of Seeds ban and like other really shows me like, oh wow, well, LL is kind of also weird, right? Like, there's gonna be a lot of cards that are like these iconic cards, like Crown of Seeds that maybe are part of the motivation to play the format, like for more casual people to like say, oh, I really want to play this card again, and they're not going to be allowed there either. It's kind of
weird. Not that LL format's wild. I didn't even actually have this in here, but I mean, we might as well jump into it. But LL being a part of Worlds now is a little surprising to me. But they did say we're going to be paying a lot more attention to the format. We're going to be releasing more events for you to practice in. We're going to be banning and restricting cards in that format way more heavily than before. But what's your guys' take on having to play LL? Because I know last time we did Blitz at Worlds, nobody liked Blitz in Worlds.
That was horrible. Yeah.
It was a horrible idea. You can get one shot out of your tournament, blah blah blah. But in its current state, LL is pretty similar to that, right? Like, even with the new wave of bans, there are some heroes that just like will kill you accidentally on turn 2. What's your guys' take about LL being in Worlds now?
I think like my biggest concern is just like having to spend so much extra time on solving this format as well.
Yeah.
Because like figuring out CC is a lot of work on its own, and then you have the limited part, and then you have LL on top of that, which is a whole another metagame. So
it's also a financial burden on players.
True.
Those LL decks, the top 3 LL decks, are expensive, very expensive, right? Like Starvo is a crazy expensive deck. Oldhim, crazy expensive deck. He's not that good right now. And now there's Zen's probably one of the best decks, also relatively expensive. So I don't know how I feel about the financial burden of saying like, okay, every good card we've ever printed, every Majestic we've ever printed, every legendary equipment, you have to go get them now for Worlds. But it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's probably worse than just having CC and limited. But it's not as bad as Blitz, I guess. I just hope they give us the information that we need in advance, like leave us a decent amount of time. So it's not like, oh yeah, banned and restricted announcement for Living Legends, close to before Worlds, and then the same for CC, and the limited set will be quite new and could be very...
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're not doing like the spicy hot takes yet, but what if it's just Living Legend at limited?
Oh no, that would be weird. Just saying that makes me. If they got rid of CC,
no CC.
Oh no,
there'd be a riot, dude.
There's no way. And also, please don't make it like with Blitz, where it's the last rounds. Like you're telling me you're supposed to play your winning in Blitz. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, but those are the rounds that matter the least, though, right? The last ones.
Yeah, but it's just the feelings thing. Yeah, it just feels bad to lose your winning in Blitz. I'd rather get fucked immediately and play the calling. Thank you.
Actually, true, dude. Let me drop out early, dude. I want to hit the call. Get me out of here. Yeah. I mean, man, being like that 9th place bubble because you lost one of those last Blitz games to like a Reinar that one shots you, like, or like whatever the other degen decks at the time were, oh my god, I'd flip a table.
Yeah,
I actually have
that's
never
what I
played
mean.
LL though. Never played it.
You flip the table and then you wipe your tears with a couple of €1,000 you won from top 16.
Oh yeah, whatever, dude. I'm not here for top 16. I'm here for dropping out and playing the calling. Okay, so yeah, all LL. I don't know. I know some people love that format, so I'm not going to say again. LSS can never win because some people will love it, some people will hate. I just hope they ban it a little bit. I hope they balance LL a little bit better, just a wee bit better.
At this point, it's just so unclear. Like the format is completely unsolved, right?
Yeah,
we don't know what it looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. Maybe it is as
I think it could be fun. I think there's a lot of heroes there that are fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Maybe once we start to explore the format, we start to see that it is actually interesting. And
I'm sure it's interesting at some level. You know, I think it's just gut reaction. Yeah, I look at Starvo and I go, okay, you know, but he's not even that good right now, to be honest, right? So, you know, maybe Zen being a top tier deck in that format is a good thing because you can play into him, you know? All right. So let's get into the new set hype because I think High C seems to be one of the most well-received, most hyped sets of all time, right? It does come with a couple controversies so far. One being the product is very limited and very hard to get your hands on right now. In the US particularly, I'm not so sure about your guys' region, a lot of our stuff has been stuck in customs. So we had entire regions of the US have to cancel their pre-releases. You know, product isn't getting in until Wednesday, Thursday of this week. So a lot of people who were planning on opening their product, selling singles, could not do it. So North American players are going to be paying a lot of money if they want to include any of the new cards in their deck. And then there's also a little bit of controversy around the gold treasure packs, which are insanely fun to open. I'm a gambling addict and I cannot stop. It is probably going to cost me an entire year's worth of my salary. I'm not excited about it. But some people are saying, you know, I want a card game. I didn't want to, if I wanted to collect lottery system, I would be buying sports cards, you know. But I actually have a personal take on the gold foils. I think it's actually fine, right? I think the gold packs are good for the game because what they're kind of doing is they're giving a weird offshoot of collectability to this set for the people who want collectible cards. And the fact that the cold foil legendaries are in there, all of these weird rethemes are in there, means that the regular versions of the cards should have been cheaper, right? They should have been cheaper. The problem is right now is availability is causing this massive spike. I don't know if you guys have seen prices, but you know, every Majestic is setting at $25 right now minimum. But I think in the long run, this kind of theme would make the players have a much more affordable entry into the game, and the collectors have their weird, crazy pieces. But one downside is we've all been programmed to want to bling out our decks. I'm a big fan of cold foiling out my like 2-3 decks. It looks like getting cold foils in this set is a absolute challenge, right? They're going to be rare. They're going to be harder to get, and you might not want to cold foil out these new heroes anymore. But that's just my take. I think gold foils are good for players, good for collectors, but bad for the hybrids. You know what I mean? What's your guys' thought on the gold packs?
I think like for people who like to open product, it's great because I think you're just buying boxes anyway.
Yeah,
it's a bit annoying that you can't like just get a few packs from before your armory and just get a random cold foil legendary out of your packs, for example.
Yeah.
But if you like to gamble like that, I think that's even worse than just buying some boxes and maybe hitting something out of your gold pack.
Yeah, the hit rates are low. They're low.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen several of those 300 gold pack openings, and there's like 5 valuable cards in there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I also don't really like too much because I think like there should at least be something playable in it. But like getting cold foil draft cards that you will probably never play in a CC deck is also kind of a feel bad especially when you just buy a whole box of product to just get one of those cards. That's a bit frustrating.
Yeah, man. Opening a yellow gold foil chart the course is like getting shot in the face. It was so heartbreaking, you know?
Look at the art.
Dude, like a yellow.
Art.
It literally says put a counter on Treasure Island on the card, and I can't do that in CC. Like, you know what I mean? It's
and I can't just slot them in like a limited deck as a proxy or something.
Yeah, it's legal.
That also doesn't work. So, but from what I've been hearing, people love the packs and just love the opening experience, but like the whole availability problem, especially in the US, as you just told us, that's pretty rough, of course. Like I've also heard from German stores that had to cut a lot of their pre-orders, and I think that is a problem that like should be tried to be solved in the future. But I don't really know like what's the reason for this, or are they trying to balance out like the whole not flooding the market with too much product, and on the other hand trying to make it scarce and make an interesting product, like I don't know. Do you know anything about this? I haven't looked into it that much, but
I have no idea. I mean, I thought we all agree now that flooding the market is less bad of a thing than having the product.
Well, we know invisible things, right? So like we know a couple invisible things have happened. There's been some changes in the LSS like senior leadership side a little bit. There's been some evolutions since, you know, the flooding of the market with some of the last sets. We saw it kind of with Rosetta, definitely with Hunted, and now again with High Seas. Their product is a little bit more streamlined. And then we can infer that the game is much more popular. We're seeing a lot more players, record-breaking event, after, like basically since Rosetta onwards, right? So we know there's more people coming. They're changing the collectability strategy quite a lot, right? And I think High Seas is the first new version of collectability, right? And there's some LSS changes in the background. So I think it's clear their strategy has changed. But we also have the whole US tariff situation going on. It is possible that the printing, you know, that everybody can't print in China right now. There's only 2 printers that are not in China, and every single vendor is using them. So there's also this whole, is LSS able to outbuy Pokemon? Probably not, right? Can they steal Magic the Gathering's print windows? Probably not yet, you know? So there also is a very real chance that there's just some logistical issues going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's just like so many things that go into this, right? So first of all, you have the fact that the set is like printed a bit shorter than other sets were in the past. I think that's a decision that was made a year ago or something like that, right? Because that's kind of like the time frame that you're dealing with. So now they got hit with the fact that all of a sudden, starting from Rosetta onwards, they have like a huge influx of players that they couldn't foresee to the extent that it happened. So now you kind of like you realize, oh, we actually have more customers than we expected, and now you make the adaptation, of course, but the adaptation is not going to be visible until like half a year from now, when the thing now for the future sets, now the print runs have been adapted, right? It's just like the time frame is always like in this type of business, like it's going to be much larger because there's like so much organizational stuff that's going on there behind the scenes, and you can't like make like these changes like very quickly. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is that you have this whole US tariff situation going on. That's also something completely outside of like LSS's control, and that's how you end up with a shortage of product, which I would say is like not really much they could have done about it. The only thing that I think the argument that you can make that is fair is to say like, hey, US Nationals was so shortly after the release of High Seas that you kind of open the door for something like that to happen. So you run a risk that something like this can actually negatively impact players, and I think it's clear to say that it does negatively impact players because while you can always say like, oh, everybody has the same amount of time to prepare, so it's like an even playing field in that regard. If people can't get product, or they have to pay like a premium price for the product because there's just not enough available, then that's an issue, of course. So that's, I think, a criticism that you can make. However, this is not something new, right? I think US Nationals in last year, it was the same. It was like very shortly after release weekend, and it was fine, right? Like product was available, and everybody was on the same page in terms of like how much time they had to prepare, and that's just kind of how it goes. You know, I don't think you also don't want to wait too long after releasing a new set to have like your first big event, because you want to showcase the new cards as well. So you want to keep the hype going, right? So you want to make sure that people are excited about like your product. So I think it's just kind of a bit of an unfortunate circumstance, and you can you can criticize them for like some of the decisions that they made, but for the most part, it's stuff that is like outside of their control, I would say.
Yeah,
and I guess regarding like the treasure pack thing of like, I as the others also already said, like as players we are so excited about people being incentivized to open product, because the more product is being opened, the lower the prices for singles are going to be. And for us as players, that is like a good thing. Like we as players, we need collectors, right? The collectors are the people that are, by the end of the day, the ones that are paying for our prize money. They're paying for like the venue. They're paying for the stream. You know, all this kind of stuff is only possible because you have these people that are interested in collecting the game and buying effectively more product than they realistically need, right? So we should be like very, very happy if the collectors are happy. And so I think the question here that is important for us is are the treasure packs something that make the collectors happy? Like for me as a player, I don't care. Like I don't care about the treasure packs at all, because I don't interact with the hobby in this way. I'm a competitive player. That's how I choose to interact. That's how I choose to interact with the hobby, right?
Yeah.
I have friends, they are judges, they interact with the hobby in this way. And I have friends that are collectors and they interact with the hobby in that way. Yeah. And all of these groups of people like come together to make the hobby possible and to make it as good as it is. And effectively, the treasure packs is something for the collectors. And as me as a player, I don't care, as long as the collectors are happy. If the collectors are not happy with it, then that's an issue. But if they're happy with it and they're incented and they're buying more product because of that, they're opening more product because of that, and the singles price drop, then that's a win for me.
Yeah, and when I was kind of alluding to like it's better EV for the player now, right? Because like you can also buy a box and sell the gold foil or the gold pack. The gold packs right now are selling for like almost a quarter of the box. Right. So you can go in there, get your Majestics, get your like regular rainbow foil legendaries, throw out your gold packs, sell it to some vendors or whatever.
Just get the whiteboarded version, right?
Yeah. And then all these collectors are just ripping 500 gold packs, and they have all of these Majestics that they're just going to flood the market with at some point.
Yeah.
You know, I think the only reason the card prices are spiking right now is because of the shortage. And I do think, I agree with you, it's probably a mixture of 3-4 things that hit LSS at the same time. Nobody could have predicted the tariffs, you know, and the impacts of that. And so America, unfortunately, goes first, and they have a really tough decision. Do we not show off our new heroes in the biggest nationals, or do we say it's sorry, guys, right? Like it's tight. And of course, they're going to go with the option to show off great. Everybody wants to see Gravy Bones or Puffin make it the top 8. Everybody wants that. So
yeah, make sure to tune into Savage Feast.
Oh, Savage Feats. Let's go. We'll be there. It's a couple days. And then play Max's 9 Ruby Gravy Bones deck.
I didn't see the deck. Do you have the Humperdinkel with the fucking that makes resources?
Yeah.
Do you have all in the deck? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I actually played your version. It's wild. It's a little too non-blocky for me, but it's pretty good, dude. It's pretty good. I like your concept. I really dug.
It's good.
Gravy Buns is going to be my new hero. So I have my own version. I call it Big Ship Gravy. There's a curse word in there, but very similar, very similar vibe. Okay, I think that wraps up the gold packs and the availability. You know, it's likely a logistics issue. I think gold packs are awesome. I have a gambling problem, so I keep opening them. You know, I keep buying more boxes. Yeah, exactly. And I'm going to sell all my extra Majestics, flood the market, so people like Max can be happy. You know what I mean? All right, next topic though, limited in high seas. I am an absolute limited hater. I have been my entire life. I don't like drafting. I don't like limited. This is my first card games. I only ever played CC, but I have been to every pre-release in my entire area because after the first game of limited, I could not stop. I think this is an insane set. We're seeing people all over social media. This is the high seas is the best limited set ever. Not even close. Like from Jason out there. I even posted about it. I'm sure you guys have played limited because Nationals is coming. What are your takes on the limited format?
I mean, I think it's hard to say if it is the best yet, but I can promise you that it's definitely better than most of the other sets already, including the Hunted.
Yeah, Hunted sucked. Okay, got it.
I mean, I don't know. I don't actually know about Sealed. I think Sealed could be a bit problematic, but the draft is. I mean, also I don't really care, but draft. It is definitely looking quite promising. You can do multiple different. I mean, you definitely have a lot more angle. Yeah, you can do different things at least. Yeah, I don't know how good they are yet, maybe necessarily, but it's definitely clear that every hero has multiple game plans that are available. Right? It's not like Hunted where, oh, what am I going to do with my Syndra deck? Well, I'm doing the same thing as every other Syndra deck. I'm playing some head traps and some other go again attacks and then maybe a finisher. But
you're trying to win the dive.
Maybe my Marlin deck is trying to play buffs and zero cost arrows and reload with drawing cards and play or maybe play the other bow. I don't know if that's real, but you can play the crossbow. And then the generics, I think the pirate cards, that's really where they define your deck as well. Like,
true.
Even though they're not the class cards, they define how you approach it. Like maybe you have a couple sloops, and that means that arsenaling an arrow with Marlin and going, you do the crossbow sloop and you shoot the arrow. That makes sense, yeah. So enabling these high tide cards, I think that's really how to make a good deck.
Yeah.
And how the different heroes can do that.
Yeah, High Tide's one of my favorite thematics ever printed. I don't know why I find it so much fun, but High Tide is like such a fun, complex, I don't know. I really, really enjoy High Tide. But what's your other guys' take?
I think the format is really interesting. It seems like it's super deep, as Elias already mentioned, and just the different builds makes it really interesting to explore, and also challenging, like finding out which cards are good in which deck and which build on top of that, and that makes it just so much fun.
Yeah, I really like how they are now pushing this idea with the macro even stronger, where now that really defines the limited experience. You have this mini game basically on the table with Treasure Island, right? And I think that's a great way where you can spice it up and you can take the limited formats into like different directions and make it actually something more than, or like, more interesting even than it might be normally. The only criticism maybe that I have right now is that this is now like one of the complex sets. So I think they kind of tend to do that where they go like easy set, complex set, or like easy set, complex set. And I can see how I saw like a lot of, even more than usual, a lot of games go to time in the releases. So especially you have like Gravy, who is like a very grindy, slow hero, and newer players, and there's so many buttons you can press, and also because you have like a stack of gold on the table almost at any given time, and you don't really know when is the right time to use it, and do I use it with my hero, or do I use it to draw a card? And so many decision points, which make it really, really cool, really, really fun, and really interesting at a high level. But I think at like a entry level, it is a very difficult set to parse and to play, and that might also be something where like some players might be a bit iffy about the set. Also, a lot of games going to fatigue, things like that. But on the whole, I'm loving it so far.
I don't think we're going to go to fatigue much after a while. I mean, maybe against Gravy, but You're not fatiguing Puffin or Marlin
Yeah.
in the future. That's not happening.
Also,
they're gonna build the deck.
Yeah, those hate cards
You're
are
playing
so
Manta.
important. The hate cards are so important. Like, if you're worried about like a gravy on gravy fatigue, the gravy with the flip a card, like I flip a graveyard card upside
Make a
down,
gold.
make a gold. That card auto wins the matchup, right? Like it's just, or the ship that when it's on hit, flip a card, destroy an ally. The ship that flips a card in the graveyard. The one thing you guys didn't talk about at all though is Scurv, which I'm surprised by. What? That's another new thing.
I drafted once, so I don't know yet. I definitely know that it can be really strong, but I think the window to do Scurv is very short. So I think you can't do the spicy, which maybe would be the most fun way to do it. Pick 2, pick 1. This is Scurv. I can actually pivot. I don't think that's gonna happen much, but
we did see Yuki kind of have that strategy. I mean, it was very early in the format, so it's probably going to be much more solved by the time we get to nationals. But like Yuki kind of stayed Scurv open almost all the way to the end, just didn't find him. You know what I mean? So
there's not good. I think that's too high opportunity.
Yeah, it's just such an interesting dynamic that he's a rare. Sometimes 1 in 3 boxes, right? So there's a chance you'll play an entire tournament, never see him, and then there's a chance you'll see him in every draft pod, right?
I think the only issue would be if he is too strong. Because then it would be a feels bad, where like, oh, I open pack 1, pick 1, I open Scurv, and now I just like 3-0 my pot pretty much every time. If that's kind of where we end up, then I think that would be a bit of an issue.
That might be
Other
true.
than that, I think it's kind of like it's a fun and cool little mechanic or little like wrinkle to the format.
There's a lot of cards that Scurv I think will want that the others actually don't care that much about. Like turns out that the cheap no go again attacks are quite bad in the other heroes, like 0 for 4s, which are usually fine, right? 1 for 5s. I don't think these cards are great.
Interesting.
And especially the 1 for 5, like Scurv can do some stuff with that, right? He can go, or even the 2 for 6 that puts a treasure thing. You can do like 2 costs with a gold rum in one turn. You can go the Siren card against even alive. You can go Siren into Siren. That's insane.
Yeah, and he generates the resource too, right? So like you can actually go a little bit even heavier than that with
Yeah,
I think Scurv is a weird
1 blue, you can do Siren. That's when you get the resource.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how do you get the gold? I think is more the question. I think it's because you will have a lot less 3 blocks, and it will be a lot harder to defend Treasure Island.
Yeah.
And it will be easier for the opponent to have the Treasure Island on 1 against you, and then you're not going to get as much gold, or if they can block that out, you're not going to have any gold, and it is time delayed, so you have to make the gold, and then
you got to steal it. You're a thief. You got to get those thief cards too, right?
You got to steal them, maybe. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, stealing that gold.
You kind of want to lose gold on Scurv because you want every turn to just be I steal gold from you, I get value from stealing, and then I get a turn on my effect, and then I generate a resource.
But then you have to do it with the Kraken guy, right? With the octopus.
You can steal. There's several cards that say if you're a thief, do X, right? And along
No, I know. There's the gloves. The gloves are super huge.
Yeah,
the gloves are insane. Yeah,
so
the gloves are insane. But then when you have to use the action point on the weapon, it is less good. And then it's time delayed. You have to make the rum and the next turn do it. So I think it's not as insane maybe as it might look. There is some downsides, but if you open it pack 1, pick 1, it's probably correct and to go for it. Yeah,
I'm excited to see the world's best players shake this format out. Like, I think there's so much depth to this one. I'm sure there's going to be somewhere that we find, maybe by the second nationals or something, there's going to be a common thread, and then we'll do what we normally do. There's always a best, but I think there's a lot more depth to this set than normal. Yeah, cool.
What I also love about this format is how the Treasure Islands really makes it all different from how you would play certain cards or the heroes in CC, because you have so much gold available to you at certain spots, and that just makes it so cool and just diversifies the whole card use.
When you get into that like early stalemate with your opponent, you're both blocking fully, sending smaller attacks. The treasure island's on like 7 or 8. I had that happen in a pre-release. And then you like, you finally send the big ship and your opponent's like, oh, I guess I'll take 8. And then you just get 8 gold on your side of the table and you're like, you're dead, dude.
No
You're dead.
It's important to not let that happen, to let it get too high. I think at some point you need to find a way to balance it out and
like give
let your opponents get some gold to be able to get some gold yourself, but not let it take get to the outcome you just described, where you just get 8 gold, but you went through half your deck already, and it's just not the spot you want to be in, I think. So there's a lot of important decisions you need to make in the early game to not reach that spot, I think.
Yeah, there's just so much weight to it. Also, intentionally getting your gold lower so you can steal it and turn on some of those blue cards, Like, I cracked like 4 gold on one of my turns just so I could play a mutiny, And I was...
There's also the gold hunter cards.
Yeah, it's so fun. Okay. I think this is one of the most fun sets. We'll see competitively, I think, at the end of national season, what it shakes out to be competitively. But, this is the first set in a long time that I've wanted to just play. Just play it, Cool. Now the big topic, all right, guys. This is the big. This is the reason we're here. It's national season. U.S. Nationals kicks it all off. Actually, this coming weekend, it's gonna be nuts. First time we're gonna have the brand new heroes playable in CC. There's some, and I've heard a lot of rumors from teams saying they figured out Gravy. No, he sucks. They figured out Puffin. No, he's bad. They're bad. I haven't really heard too much about Marlin. I think Azalea is just Marlin right now. But we have a very short prep time. Cards are kind of hard to get. We just had the show match between the card guys, right? Or on the card guys YouTube channel that we got to watch. Saw some of the new heroes in action in pro team players' hands. And then we also have like mid-season LL possibilities with Azalea and New. What are your guys' takes on nationals? Do the new heroes make a difference? Are they strong enough to actually make a dent? Or are we going to see like your standard kind of the top 4 heroes right now take it all? But what's your guys' guess for U.S. Nationals?
I think for U.S. Nationals, the new heroes we're going to see them. I think we're going to see a couple of them in day 2, but I don't think we're going to see any of them top 8. And I think we see them underrepresented and also underperforming. Okay. And the reason for that is because, first of all, availability is a real issue for this tournament, I think.
Yep.
And also, we talked about how the set is a bit more complicated. And I think Gravy, I would say especially, but even the other 2 heroes are not as easy to figure out. And because of the amount of time that we had available until now, like everybody, especially here in Europe, we're just kind of like sitting here being like, let's see what happens at the event. But I'm sure that everybody in the US is the same. Like even the people playing in the event are like, let's see what happens.
The debut breakouts.
I think there's a good chance that the right builds have not been discovered yet. And even though the heroes are inherently powerful, we might not be at the point yet where we have figured them out well enough to perform really well.
What's your top 3 picks? Like top 3 pick heroes right now, just shooting from the hip.
Like that to perform.
Yeah.
I mean, Florian, Verdance, so like the 2 Earth heroes.
Okay.
Great.
And then New, of course, yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting. Spice. I like it.
MST. That's not Spice. Come on.
I think I have a very different perspective actually, but I'll let you guys. All right. So that's Max's take. What are you guys thinking?
I think I'll put brackets. I'm not sure which assassin is better for this meta game. Mario or Nu. I'll put them together.
Okay.
I'm not sure which Earth hero is better. I'll put Verdance and Florian together.
Okay.
And then,
as always,
and then the last one, I guess, not sure honestly. Let me check which heroes exist.
Right.
I think I don't know. Kano is good. Yeah, I think Kano will be good, but it will just be underrepresented, and somebody will choke with him anyway. And it's not
there's draft in this.
There's draft. Yeah, draft. It's never gonna be Kano. Yeah.
I don't get it, dude. He's one of the most complicated. Well, okay, I guess, but he's like one of the more tricky heroes to play.
No, they can't stop playing CC. That's exactly. They can't. They can never play
Flesh and Blood.
Yeah,
they're sitting there. They got like really good at this other game, and then they like in the middle of the tournament they have to take it. They're like, okay, break, put this down, and now we're playing Flesh and Blood, and they're like, wait
a minute,
I don't know how to play Flesh and Blood.
Crisis.
How do I one-shot my opponent from 54?
I'll say Prism. Prism.
Good take. I think that's a good take. All right, we got last but not least.
Yeah, I'm with you guys on most of the picks, of course. Like, I'm looking at Assassin right now because I've been really having a lot of fun playing
different things right now.
You could give me all 5 of your decks right now. Just what are the 5?
Like, it's Arachne, Marionette.
Okay.
It's new.
Okay.
Also Kano.
Wow, you just don't want your opponent to have fun. Got it?
Yeah, I'm the only one having fun.
Yeah. Those are 3 brutal heroes. Okay.
I don't even know if I'm really having fun playing Kano anymore, but like that's another story. But also like I'm looking at Puffin.
Oh, spicy.
I haven't really had too much time to look into it, but I just love the deck, love the hero, love the idea, and just having card drawn printed on your hero always seems good.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I'm also looking at the aggro decks like Katsu and Dash.io, but Katsu just feels like to me like it has a lot of bad matchups.
Yes, did we not mention Syndra yet, by the way?
Syndra, we forgot about Syndra. Which is well positioned, I think.
Yeah.
But of course, and also isn't that bad into Assassins as you just expected in the beginning, maybe.
Why is it a bad deck? It's not a bad deck.
It is a bad deck.
Oh yeah, play your Gravy Bonds into Syndra and see how it is. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, it is to TBD whether Gravy Bones is maybe also a bad deck, right?
Yeah, it probably
TBD.
Gravy, even though he might be bad, he might be good. We don't know yet for sure, but the decks like this always have an impact on the meta because now every deck has to ask the question again: can I deal with board state? And if you can't, it's problematic because Gravy also seems like he is going to be like a fan favorite hero.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people want.
If you're Verdance, it's a bit sick, right? Oh, there's this cook on the board. He's cooking me right now. I don't have a fucking reaping blade right now. This guy. What am I felling the 2-1 that attacks me with Go again every turn?
I have heard that Verdance just crumbles to a good Gravy Bones deck. Yeah. My take is Azalea number 1. Azalea, I think, has got it. I think she has it. She can deal with Prism now. She can deal with a lot of other decks better than she could deal with them before. Yeah, I think Azalea's god tier.
But the problem is that there's going to be no Italians at US Nationals.
You should talk to some of our teammates.
Okay. You might be right. Americans like our D-Gen aggro, a lot of the floor decks a lot of the time, or turtles. But I think Azalea's got what it takes to win. I think she might LL before you guys even get to play. And then, of course, my second guess would be Prism. She got a little bit hated on in this set. Theoretically, you could kind of tech a little bit more into Prism before. There's the new arrow. There's Midas Touch if you want to, right? There's some other stuff. But I think we saw at London how powerful Prism is in a lot of people's hands. She got a new card. The new card's very good. And actually enables an entirely kind of new strategy with Prism. You can go into some of the other more tough matchups. So I think those two are going to be high represented and high placed. And then the third, I want New to LL, so I'm just going to say that I want New to win the tournament. I don't think New has what it takes right now. Maybe a Freak Mario, but US also I don't know if we have the
You have Slippy Gamers.
Yeah, Mario is undeniably extremely powerful in like 4 people's hands. You know, undeniably powerful.
Not too many people.
Yeah,
Spend a lot of time on the deck, I think. But I'd love new to LL as well, because then I don't have to play her or have to play against her. I think that's also a win-win.
Yeah,
and you
Siren's Call.
Slippy in peace.
Yeah,
man. Finally.
Siren's Call needs to be deleted from the game. Give me retribution for having to block with a Terralyn from Limb from hand before. That's so annoying. Okay, so all right, we got our predictions. It's likely to be a bunch of record-breaking events for this set. I'm really excited to see what the numbers are for a high seas season of nationals and competitive events. I guess that's it. Do you guys have any? Are you a little worried about the fact that there could be rotations mid national season, or does that really not bother you because it's really only New and Azalea that can go?
Oh, I hope they both go, but
yeah, get them out. Get them out.
At the moment, it's just 2 more decks you would not have to worry about if they are. Just get them out of our minds.
Yeah,
I don't have to worry about putting certain cards in my deck because New can play them from the banish zone and stuff.
That's true, man. I really hate that I hate everything about New. So annoying. I miss playing Dig Up Dinner. The card's so great, but you can't play it in the New because it just gives her unlimited health. Okay. So final section, looks like nationals. We're all excited. We're kind of waiting, nice little temperament here, just kind of hanging out to see what happens at US Nats. Let's just do a couple community call outs, right? So I'm just going to say something that's been read in the community, social media posts, Reddit posts, whatever. And then we're just going to give like a really quick reaction to it. Nothing really big. It's just more to call out people's opinions. So first things first, my boy, Hemel Patel, right? Hanarabi TCG. He has called out that there is a lot of short printing going on in this set, right? We're seeing things like Lone Shark, Midas Touch, Barb Barrage, Jolly Bludger, Golden Tip, right? All short printed. And then there's something he also noticed where rainbow foil specific legend or majestics, Plantera, Aeronaut, King Kraken, Shark, Harpoon don't exist. So there could be another level of kind of awkward, extremely high priced short printing issues. I've also heard Syndra's Dagger is short printed, and that's in the Carnival slot, which means it's extra short printed. I think it's unfortunate, but it's also not entirely confirmed yet. He did open several pallets though, so he does have a decent statistical base here. But what's your guys' thoughts on short printing? Because it is always slightly irritating.
I mean, we have precedents for that happening accidentally, right?
Yeah, not this many cards though. Typically, it's like 1 or 2, most of the time.
So the only thing, the one that I'm referring to, the one that I remember was
the dagger.
No, not the dagger. The dagger, I don't think the dagger was short printed. Surgical? What?
Surgical was short printed.
Was short printed. It was in the regicide slot, and then
exactly we had, because it was like
as many regicides as we would have loved to have.
Yeah, it was like a printed as if it were like a one-off, like a legendary card. And so, but I don't know. Like, is there any? I don't see any pattern to those cards that you mentioned.
Yeah. So the interesting, he gave out like an entire breakdown, like a basis. So like he put mech into the post as like an example. So short prints for mechanologists. Golden Skywarden, he ripped 71. Cog in the Machine, he ripped 94. Aeronaut 57. Cogworks Workshop 79. Cogworks Devo Tail 86. And then Jolly Bludger, he pulled 18 copies. And then on the rainbow foil side, he basically said the same thing. These cards only show up as EA rainbow foils or non-foils. There is no foil version of these cards that he has found. So he had to do full refunds on everybody who purchased his like all rainbow foil master set. for those cards, and that was Aeronaut, Give No Quarters, King Kraken Harpoon, King Shark and King Shark Harpoon.
They're so basically the foiling is just EA for those.
Yeah, they're just the regular foil is missing, right? There's also the whole thing. We haven't seen a single cold foil Fable either, not one. So there's some cards are missing, right? It might be intentional, right? So there's a lot of weird shakeups with this set, right? And LSS has not come public with anything. We don't know if it's intentional. We don't know if it's an accident. We don't even know if it's true technically, right? Somebody else might have opened 45 loan sharks in 5 packs, but they just didn't post their numbers. But it's very interesting. This set has got a lot of weird stuff going on.
In the mechanologist thing, the Jolly Blunger being short printed, maybe that makes sense. Maybe the Skywarden and stuff, they want you to draft that, and what is the Jolly Blunger one that steals items, right?
Yeah. But if that's a limited decision, I didn't even think of it being a limited decision. That would be weird, right? That would be weird. Yeah. They've never done that before. It's possible.
Yeah, the motivation would just be to what? Why even short print anything?
Yeah,
if that's not like
right.
I think short printing should only be used as a tool to limit cards that you actively don't want to show up as much in the set.
Yeah.
Like Midas Touch. Okay, maybe you don't need fucking, if you're ripping boxes, you don't need 10 Midas Touch.
Wait, it's not going to be that popular, maybe, and
it's going to be a one-off in there. Yeah. But Jolly Blunger, I could see that being
it's playable.
One.
It's playable. Yeah.
Well, especially I think the one that goes against that is Loan Shark, right?
Yeah.
Because that seems to be like a card that you probably want to have multiple copies of.
Yeah. A Barb Barrage too, right? That's one of them. That's a really important Ranger card. That's like a super important Ranger card.
Maybe I'm misevaluating the cards, and all the cards that I short printed are actually bad, and that's their way of telling us.
Oh, maybe this is your way of finding out you're a bad player, buddy.
It is possible.
Okay.
We don't want you to open them.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I don't really understand why they short print anything, I guess, then.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever been intentional, but I've never seen somebody report this many, right? This is new. This is brand new. This has never happened before.
Maybe it's like one specific sheet or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's possible. It could also be just like there's 2 printers. There's 2 Japanese and Belgium, right? Could be like one side messed up. If it's like actually going to be critical, LSS normally does chime in about misprints or short prints. They normally kind of own it up and put it in the next set. So I guess time will tell, right? I'm going to count all mine and see if it follows the same kind of trend. All right, next on the community callouts. I don't know if you guys saw the hype with, of course, the gold packs, those actual nutty cards, the lost treasure from James White's collection that you can get. I'm personally gunning for the Eye of Ophidia, probably like everybody else in the world. But MinMax pulled on their stream the God Pack, the one of 2, the Library of Solana, never pulled before, ever. I don't think it was ever released either. It's the full art nuts card. Did you guys check that out, man?
I saw a short, on YouTube.
It's so beautiful.
Is it gold foil, by the way?
I don't know what it is. I think it's like nothing. I think it's literally like a test
the
print.
art.
Yeah, it's like a test print from way back.
Like a Marvel kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it's like a test print that's like not rainbow foiled or cold foiled. I think it's just like the full art. I don't know. I have to check. Imagine pulling that, man. Oh my gosh. What would you guys like to pull in your gold foil of anything, or gold pack of any of the possibilities? What do you want to see when you open it up?
Probably Tunic.
Playable card.
Oh,
the one that costs the most.
the most expensive one.
The most expensive one.
I don't care what it is. I'm going to sell it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically all we've been talking about at the LGS. Like, imagine you get the gold pack when you win the armory, and then you just open a heart. Now we have to split the finals, if you open something crazy.
Yeah.
But like always joking around and just being like, and now you get the pack and you're going to open a heart, right? But it makes it really interesting. I mean, you should really, like, that shouldn't be the only reason you're buying product to pull one of these, because it's so unlikely, but it's just like makes the set a lot very interesting for collectors and very exciting to open, of course.
Yeah.
Because there's always a chance you get something like this.
And we're starting to see a lot of weird stuff in there. Like the very, very old promos are in there. Like even Rudy's Diamond has been seen now, pulled from some of the packs. Like it looks like you can get almost anything from the old days. Almost anything. I would take the Eye of Ophidia. That would be nuts. Absolutely cracked. But yeah.
For what it's worth, I think it's good that the min-max guys got a good pull. They're doing a lot for the game, a lot for the community, and I think they're deserving. So.
Yeah, it's really nice. Peter's such a nice guy too, right? He's just such a nice human being. All right, and our final point. This was a Twitter post comes up. And this is from Mengu, right? Our boy. He's been very active in the Flesh and Blood scene now, traveling to events. He was in Taipei. He's playing in our callings. He's playing in our events. He's making YouTube videos. He just dropped a Florian deck tech. Looks like Magic players are starting to come for our money. Not very fun for us. But he posted some kind of humorous critique about the LL multipliers. He's basically insinuating the hero bloat thing that we talked about, right? I think he started to call that out as well, that the multiplier is very much directed at old heroes because the LSS knows they're bad and really needs to figure out a way to get them out of the game. And we kind of already talked about it, but do you think that there is a magical number? Like, because if the heroes are not relevant, do you think they actually have any impact on like competitive scene at all? Like you're not teching for Betsy, but like you don't really care if one shows up either, right? Like, is there a bad issue or an issue with old heroes being in the game when they're like kind of just bad? I
don't think I care at all.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I just heard so much about the bloat, right? Like, and I
yeah, why? What's even the problem?
Bloat. Yeah, I don't get
50 heroes in the game.
Yeah, maybe your first
whatever.
Maybe your first round of a tournament is a little bit more dangerous because you might get hit with like a rogue Olympia, but like it's Olympia.
Be my guest.
Yeah, please. Thank you for the win, buddy. Thank you for the free win. I'll see you at the bottom.
Get your 3 cold foil crowns out of your inventory.
I mean, there's no way that the bloat thing is a concern for competitive players, so they don't have to take for whatever. Like that can't be the reason, right?
I just
maybe it's just
get it. I don't know.
It's fine. I think
if a hero is good, it will always LL eventually, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
because eventually a hero will get support or unbans will happen, like with Katsu. We'll see how that goes, how long he'll stay with us. But also, like in the beginning, I was a bit, I wouldn't say upset, but I was like questioning if the 1.5 multiplier would be good. Like you mentioned that before. Your favorite hero finally getting support, you're happy. You're like, oh man, I can finally play Katsu again. And then he's basically just theoretically, he's like top of the meta, and then he's just gone in a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
That can be frustrating, but also like they will come back eventually, right? So I think that's also something to always look forward to, and so
it's
another version. I mean,
give me 100 heroes, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I think it deals with itself naturally. The LS system does get rid of the heavy hitting heroes. The bottom ones kind of stay around. I mean, like, I think it's intrinsic to the system, right? Bad heroes stay at the bottom. They will not LL, right? Like the pyramid will get wider over time. So
maybe we can make a third format where it's all the shit heroes.
Just dog shit heroes, dude. Just WTR.
Make it Blitz too. Just
the graveyard
Blitz too. I would play that every day of my life. I would be there. I would go to those.
because you get to play Reiner.
Yeah.
You can play all the heroes that are like 500 or less LL points or something.
I should do. This is a great homemade tournament idea. Only dog shit heroes and the best players in the world.
That's the next Worlds format. What do you mean?
Worlds 2026.
Didn't you know? Didn't you turn the page and in the small print it was right there?
Oh, fuck. Okay. All right. Well, we're gone a little bit off the rails here. I'm going to close this out with making one prediction each. All right. You can predict who is going to win US Nationals, what the next problem is, or like what the next drama is going to be, what the best hero is going to be, a new controversy. But I'm going to go first here. I'm going to guess that Gravy will be the final straw for Guardian players. I think they're going to figure it out like they always have. You know, Dromai started kind of bad. Prism 2 started kind of bad. Then they figure it out because Illusionist players are freaks and they will never give up, right? Gravy's going to become oppressive. And Warriors, Guardians, and Brute players are all going to start that format. We're all going to leave and we're going to play bad heroes only and register it up. But I'm guessing Gravy will become a broken deck. That's my real guess. I think Gravy's got what it takes. Maybe not now. Maybe very close right now, but for sure the next set he might be busted.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to Herald of Erudition, your ally, and drawing 2 cards, and it goes to Soul, and I make an angel.
That's
broken.
I don't really like that at all.
Does it trigger if you hit the ally?
Yes. Yeah.
God.
That's why Prism. Yeah, dude.
It's
original
also gonna
Prism
trigger
versus
you
Dromai,
if
right?
that happens.
Yeah, original Prism versus Dromai was like 100-0. You know, you can't kill Spectra, and Erudition always draws cards. Okay. So maybe Gravy. All right. Well, I just got told Gravy's gonna suck. Never mind. I think
maybe that's the only bad matchup, and otherwise it's just all things are great. I think definitely you can do some very broken things sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes.
If you do chart the thing and you actually happen to have an ally in the blue card and you get 3 free pitch, and then you solve the what is it called?
Yeah.
The one that pitches a blue card off the top of your deck, and
Yeah.
you get so much mana cheat. Yeah, you can actually cheat a shit ton of resources.
I play Belittle Gravy is my version of Gravy, and I do that. Yeah. Belittle. I love that. What's it called? The ship?
Nimby?
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. Forget the name.
Ship.
The C. I don't know. It's the Belittle ship.
The CNC? What do you mean the belittle ship?
The ship that if
Murderous
there's a
Rebel. No,
you play the one.
the saltwater swell. Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Then if it's blue, it pitches it into your great.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
That's what Elias said, yeah.
Yeah. I play that version. That's what I'm cooking.
Yeah.
Belittle Gravy is what I call
My
it.
brain always autocorrects that card to having 2 block. I look at it and I'm
It's
like, oh
nuts.
yeah, it's nice, but it's a 2 block.
No.
And then I look at it again, I'm like, wait, actually it blocks for 3. But then I
It's
forget about it. And then the next
crap.
time I look at it, I'm like, oh yeah, it would be good if it blocked for 3.
There's also
And then I look at
golden
it and it's like,
ticker.
actually it does. So.
That actually blocks for 2.
Which
Maybe
one?
you're confusing it. It's kind of similar in some ways, right?
Yeah.
Which one?
The one cost attack, the golden tipple blue.
The tipple,
that also
yeah,
some
yeah.
people can run
Yeah.
that.
I think it's because of that, yeah.
I'm big.
I mean,
on
for me, it's the
high
question: how deep do you go in the watery grave kind of situation? Are you playing the off the top of your deck kind of stuff? I think you're gonna have to also attack people with non-allies, because if you just put an ally every board, attack with an ally, you're very much opening yourself up to just nice
Yeah.
job. I will kill the ally and then block your next ally attack.
I'm on an attack version of Gravy with the allies mixed in, but like it's the swell, right? You play swell, play CNC ship into their face, play swoop into their face, play an ally, go again, and then end on the 9 ship. I've done like a full armada turn, for like 25 damage, something an ally. It's disgusting.
You can also maybe
that sounds
maybe you're not even supposed to play allies or like many allies at all.
Yeah.
Maybe you're supposed to be just the boat, like mana cheat big boats, pummeling boats.
That's what I'm doing. Oh, dude, the amount of stuff you can pummel. I have a red pummel in there sometimes when I'm feeling hilarious, but I have sent the entire armada and summon an ally in one turn with belittle. You know what I mean? It's kind of disgusting. It's kind of gross. And every ally is just a D react with that deck because you're going to kill my ally and then I'm going to send 12 ships at you. I don't know. All right, that's my call. Gravy's going to be better than we expect. You guys have any nasty predictions?
Maybe the good allies are the ones that don't actually need like you don't have to use your action point for them. You can just have a cook that just gains your life every turn. Maybe.
Yeah.
And then send some ships. It's possible. I
Big
mean, my
ship.
prediction. Wait, you want me to give a player in the deck?
Do you have
Oh,
a winner? then?
anything. A player, a deck. What's your call? What was the question?
Oh, did you have a winner in mind, like a person?
Oh, it's a complicated draft set. So I'm immediately going to put. Oh wait, the Canadians are playing Canadian Nationals.
Are you playing?
No, I'm doing Savage Feats. We're going to be doing coverage. Yeah, if I was playing, I would definitely wouldn't win. There's no chance. I'm just starting to play again. Who would win this one? It's a hard draft set. Like I feel like a lot of really good players are going to bomb out a draft.
Yeah, I mean, can't be a Wizard player, right?
Can't be. It can't be a lot of American players because they're mostly bad at draft, dude.
Yeah, but if everybody is bad, then everybody's good, right?
That's true. I mean, you have. Who would win? That's a great question. I honestly am having a hard time.
Rothwell.
Yeah, okay. Andrew's good.
I will go with. Wait, I was gonna call Andrew.
I'm sorry, he's my friend.
No, he's not. Okay, but I will help him with the draft, so that's why he'll win the national. So in a way, I will win US national.
Yeah, it's a complicated set. I have a lot of the best CC players in America might not be able to hold their own in draft and survive, I think. But there's no Canadians to wipe us out of draft either. So, it's kind of, Yuki and that team are all like draft gods.
What about Even Herden? Maybe he wins.
Yeah. I mean, Michael will be around for draft. My guy, Michael Hamilton will be around. I'm sure Brody will do pretty well. Then there's like all of the, we got Lucas, we got Noah Bagelman. I'm sure will be doing pretty well.
Sam Sutherland.
Sam Sutherland will yeah.
Wait,
isn't he as Australian?
This is the same with like the block 2, block 3 kind of thing. My brain autocorrects anybody who's not European to American anyway.
Yeah, this is a hard one. I don't know who's going to win your guys' nationals.
Well, I'm not playing, so I'm not.
He's not. Yeah.
Is it?
I mean, German nationals. Who will win German nationals?
Wait, you're not gonna say yourself?
I mean, I'm not good at winning.
Oh,
I'm gonna go second place. I'll predict.
Okay, second place. Value Vampire represent. Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Yes. The Value Vampires are gonna.
It could be you guys' theme.
No, looking at this.
It is.
I'm not sure.
All right. We don't have any.
Lauren will win.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, of course. I'm just gonna pick up my 2 boxes again.
Hell yeah.
As participation prize, so to speak. But soon we'll have cash prizes in Germany.
No.
Flesh and Blood is a game of skill.
Yeah.
Max Schmidt will win German nationals.
Oh, Max
Lock
Schmidt.
it in.
Okay.
Max Schmidt.
But you guys should come to calling Hamburg this year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And you guys didn't have prizes, so I forgot all about that part of that. It had to be classified as a game of skill, right? I didn't even remember that. That's wild. That's wild. Yeah. That's big things.
Otherwise, they would have to check your age and stuff.
Yeah.
And
gambling or whatever. Yeah.
Gambling,
Huh. That's actually huge for the game to be able to have cash prizes.
It's horrible. What do you mean?
Oh. People are gonna try harder now.
No. It gets weird with the taxes and stuff.
Oh.
I mean, I was fine with the travel expense stuff. It was just as good as cash, right?
Interesting. Yeah. Play the game, see the world. Yeah. All right, guys. I gotta get to work.
Wait.
I am already late.
We still have spicy predictions. Okay.
Oh, do it.
Not for US nationals, but I have a spicy prediction. Okay?
I want to hear it.
So we're not gonna. Usually we put a vampire in every top 8 of the major, but this time we're gonna put 2 vampires in the top 8 of worlds.
2.
But we're only gonna get second place because that's what we do.
You're gonna split second place. You're gonna fatigue each other until you're both 0, tie for second. I love it.
That's the plan.
Value Vampires 2 out of 8. I actually believe it. I believe it. You guys
at least
heavy conversion rate at Pro Tour London. Nuts. It was.
I was
so
the
much.
only one not the day 2 of the Pro Tour, actually. So.
Yeah, I know. I watched your name on the chart and I watched it go.
Special member.
Well, you're too busy like
Sometimes you have to
ruling, right?
sacrifice an emperor,
Yeah, the emperor has to. You can't. You got to tell your soldiers what to do. You don't.
Lead from the back.
Lead from the back, right? Be safe. All right, guys. I appreciate you so much for coming on. This was actually a lot of fun. Let's see if our predictions come true, and I hope you guys do really well in your national season. I hope you guys crush it. And Max, I know you're not playing too much right now, but I hope you have a nice safe move and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for coming on. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you around.
Thank you for having us. Bye.
Bye. Cool guys. Thank you so much.